Hey everybody, and welcome to Bits of Board, where we're talking board games, miniatures, cards and dice. My name's Michael, and today we're taking a look at the latest arrival from Peterson Games, Planet Apocalypse. On the surface, this is a dice-heavy, miniatures-heavy, tower defense style game, pitting players as heroes against the invading tides of hell. Looking deeper though, it is an engine builder, a resource manager, and one of the tightest co-op games I think I've played. See, Peterson Games and their founding member Sandy Peterson have been in game design in one form or another for decades. We have the team's recent works in the Kickstarter realm, Cthulhu Wars, Glorantha, Hyperspace. But Sandy, well, he's been everywhere. For him, it all began with the Call of Cthulhu RPG, but since then he's gone on to have a hand in some of the most genre-defining video games of all time. And I'm talking Doom, Quake, Hexen, and even the Age of Empires series. Sandy knows game design. Peterson Games know game design, and that's why I'm so excited to show off this box of gameplay. In this vid, I'm going to give you a rules overview, a few gameplay examples, and a few thoughts of mine of the release. Now, I'm going to use just the base game box here, no Kickstarter add-ons or stretch goals here. Pretty much everything you need to get a full feel of what the game has to offer. You all set? Let's dive in. In Planet Apocalypse, players take on the role of heroes. Each hero begins the game with unique abilities, upgrade paths, and flaws, and can be customized through the purchase of gifts in-game. The player's main goal is to defeat the approaching boss, one of the Lords of Hell. Lords are the toughest and most powerful enemies in the game, slowly lumbering towards their goal on the game's map. Before them, they send out waves of lesser demons, advance parties of invaders set on reaching the very same goal. Each demon successful in reaching their goal or exiting raises the doom level. Too much doom and the game is over. And if the Lord ever reaches its goal, the game ends immediately in defeat. To survive, players will need to hold off Hell's armies, and to win, they will need to destroy the Lord of Hell itself. The base game of Planet Apocalypse comes with a single map, with players defending a town from the invading waves. The map can be played in two ways. The first is here, the invasion map. The invasion map is linear, with a town at one end, the start location for our heroes, and the Lord's area at the other end. On invasion, the demon's goal is to reach the town and move beyond it, with each demon successful in their goal being removed from the map, causing doom. The other side, the Doomgate map, is the same map, except it's cyclical. Here, instead of demons getting removed from the map, they rejoin the fray, moving back around for another attack. Either way though, our objectives remain the same. The Lord of Hell strives to enter the starting location, and the heroes are trying to kill it. Gameplay is divided into three phases. First is the team phase, where heroes will simultaneously complete their team actions, recruiting, healing, purchasing upgrades, and renewing their luck. Following that, we have the hero phase, where heroes will move, fight, and set ambushes, being able to take each of these actions once per phase. Finally, we have the demon phase, where demons will attack, move, and spawn across the map. This is also where we handle the game's despair and lord tracks, essentially timers controlling how the game ramps up and when the lord makes its moves. Now, before we take a look at the gameplay in detail, let's take a closer look at a few of the underlying elements: the hero sheets, demon sheets, troopers, and legion mechanisms. Hero sheets contain all the necessary information for understanding your hero. They're a health tracker with markers showing the hero's maximum health and their current health. Toughness. This is a hero's defense, the rolled number enemies need to exceed in order to cause damage. Attack dice. These are the dice a hero can roll in combat. And starting resources down here. We have luck, a consumable resource that allows players to activate powers on gifts. These can be purchased by players using the renew action. Next, we have courage, And while players usually start with no courage, it can be gained and spent in a number of ways. Firstly, it's the currency used when purchasing gifts and can be exchanged for luck in the renew action at a 9-to-4 ratio. But it can also be used to assist other players in combat and purchase troops. Overall, it is by far the most used resource in the game. Now, courage supply is split between a player's personal supply, which is gained through defeating demons, but it also exists in a shared pool, which grows when demons are defeated by troops, and more so as the game progresses, but more on that later. Next, we can see our abilities, including a starting ability, something unique to drive your initial gameplay, additional abilities, which can be gained through upgrading your hero, and their floor, again something unique to the hero, but this time negative. Next, we have the gift slots, where players will purchase gifts, gaining the printed ability covered, and those of course included on the gift. And finally, we have off to the side of the board, a space for players to keep trooper cards. Those kept here are considered patrolling, but we'll cover that shortly. Players may also have, at a given time, the captain token, which acts as kind of a first player token, but the captain is also given other responsibilities, including having the final say on when courage from the shared pool is spent. Finally, players may also be given the Divine Intervention token, and this is given to the starting captain in the game. This is kind of like a beginner's support token, I guess. It's recommended for your first game and for players coming off a loss. This is essentially a free mulligan on some game-altering situations, but we'll talk about those later. Generally, though, after you've played a couple of times, it's quite shameful to have in play. Next to the demon sheets, of which we have 3 different kinds. We have our lesser demons sheet, consisting of stats for our demons. Each has an attack value, a toughness value, which functions the same as it does for heroes, and a summoning symbol identifying when the demon spawns. Now what we have here are our lava, our first, second, and third circle demons. Now lava are the least powerful here. They're actually not even considered demons. In fact, they don't even spawn by themselves, but they are still absolutely a pain because these guys spawn once for every other demon on the sheet. The Grillis is the most likely to spawn from a Despair roll, followed by the Fiend and the Cacodemon. Most demons can be defeated with a single roll of the dice. The hero simply needs to exceed the roll of their toughness. However, the Cacodemon and some of the 4th level demons have something a little different up their sleeves. They're going to require 2 dice exceeding both the numbers printed in their toughness, making them, well, a lot harder to kill. Not as hard as the 4th circle demons though. Now these work the same as their lesser counterparts, except they have a few additional rules, more health, and cause more doom when exiting. Good news is though, they award more courage for their defeat. Finally, we have the Lord sheet, and this outlines all the special rules to consider when the heroes make their final assaults. We'll cover those battles in Helltime a little later, but so you know, all the familiar symbols found on here work exactly the same as normal. The Lords still have attack dice, toughness, and health, just a little bit more than usual. Okay, so it's safe to say we have a lot to deal with here in this game. We've got a handful of heroes against the full tides of hell. The odds are definitely not in our favour. The good news is, though, we're not alone, and our heroes can enlist the aid of troops. Troop cards can be recruited by players during the team phase, just so long as a hero is placed in the starting area. The hero rolls a d4 and gains that many points to spend on their troop purchase. A hero can spend courage to increase the rolled result, but may only keep one type of troop with them at any time. Troop cards are dual-sided. The ambush side represents when a troop is deployed on the map, and the other when it's patrolling with its hero. Troop cards have a cost, an amount of damage they can absorb, and potentially an additional rule that can be put into play where available. If a troop is patrolling with a hero, the card is placed by the hero sheet and accompanies them as they move across the map. Should a hero ever receive damage, they can instead transfer that damage to the troop card, absorbing as much as they can before transferring the remaining to the hero. Now, it is worth noting that damage is not persistent over the course of the game on troop cards, and just a single point of damage inflicted is enough to destroy the troop at the end of the round, no matter how much it can absorb. If a hero has a patrolling troop with them, they may choose during the hero phase to deploy them in ambush. The card is removed from the hero sheet and placed into the hero's current map space, ambush side up. The troop can now attack demons as they enter the area. Now, it's worth noting that troops in ambush are still available to be used to soak up damage. However, a hero must be in the same location to use them. Finally, we'll take a look at Legion cards. These are in-game modifiers that represent the breed of demons in play. One of the 4 available in the base game is drawn and placed as the current Legion during the setup of the game. But this will likely be discarded and changed as the Doom track increases, with reaching level 3 and level 7 causing a redraw. These cards outline a modifier in place against all demons and are always pretty much bad news. Basically, it means heroes are going to have to tackle demons with a little bit of extra thought depending on the current Legion in play. Now you can see here we've got a very nice player aid taking us through the team phases, and the other side here shows us what the status markers in-game will do. Now these only come into play very rarely, depending on the case of stunned, well, what Legion is in play, and the other 2, Fire and Pestilence, they depend on what 4th circle demon comes into play. Now, on the other side of this card here, we also have a little bit of info about Helltime, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to play through a round of the game, hopefully show you a little bit of combat, and then we're going to take things right off to the end game, and we're going to try and kill our heroes. Sound like a plan? Let's get into it. Our 2 heroes, Naomi and Terang, both begin in the starting location on the invasion map. In the distance, 5 spaces away, the Lord of Hell begins its assault. Now, 5 spaces away is super far away for us, so we can get into things nice and relaxed. How about that? We begin in the team phase, choosing in the very first round who is going to be our captain. Now, it's encouraged we do this randomly in the way that we choose, so I'm going to go with, Naomi, for example. She's pretty solid. But in future rounds of the game, we are going to be passing the captain's token to the next player in turn order. This way, everyone gets a chance to use and abuse the courage pool. It is a cooperative game though, so of course players are going to be working in the interest of the groups, but it's still nice to have that control. After the captain has been chosen, we move into the team actions phase. Now we can do these in any order, but we're going to go through them as printed. Starting with recruit. Here, players are each going to roll a d4 dice, and they're going to gain that many points with which they can choose to hire troops. We'll begin rolling for Naomi first, and she gets a lowly 1. Not the worst thing in the world. She's going to take a volunteer troop, and she's likely going to use that to prevent a little damage later on down the track. Let's see if Terang has any better luck. Rolling a 4, he is super happy there. Now, we could go about this a couple of different ways. We could go big, purchasing one of the army troop cards, but I'm thinking we'll start things off nice and simple. And we are going to grab 2 citizen militia cards. My reasoning here, well, these guys are by far one of the best for taking out hordes of weak monsters, and I cannot wait to place them down as militia. Now we move through the rest of the team phase. We could do first aid, but currently none of our heroes are injured. But just so you know, if players are in a map space that's free of any demons, they can use this ability to heal up a single point of damage from themselves or another hero on their map marker. Now, this action is completely free if they're in a demon-free area, but if they choose to take the action in the same space as a demon, it will cost them 1 point of courage. Now, the next action we could take is earn gifts, and we would take this action spending our own courage or that located in the courage pool. Right now, it's still early days, so I'm not thinking we need to rush anything. We'll save that for later. The final action available here is Renew, and this is the action where we can gain luck, 4 points for 9 courage. Again, it's still early days and we don't even have that courage, so we'll leave that there. Now, usually that'd be the end of the team phase, except one of our heroes, Naomi, has the starting ability Nimble, allowing her to move a single area as a team action. I like it. Let's go ahead and use it. We move Naomi from the start location into Area 4, and we come face to face with an invasion token. Now, invasion tokens are an abstract representation of hordes of demons that we are not totally aware of. In fact, they litter the map all the way up to the Lord's area. But whenever a player enters an area containing an invasion token, well, guys and gals, it's time to spawn. We remove the invasion token, we gather our despair dice, and we roll. Now, after rolling the despair dice, we go ahead and match up pairs of rolled symbols. Grey with grey, blue with blue, and purple with purple. Here, we're lucky enough to only have rolled a single pair. And comparing the colour grey to our demon chart, guys and gals, we are going to be spawning a Grillus. We place the lesser of all demons into the map, but that's not all. Remember what I said before about the lava? We're going to be placing one of them as well. Down he goes. With our sneaky, nimble move completed, we finish off the team phase and move in to the hero phase. Here, beginning with the captain, players can go ahead and take any and all of their hero actions. They can move 1 to 2 spaces on the map, attack demons, or set ambushes. Our captain is Naomi, and we're going to go ahead and get attacking. Now it is the first round of the game, and Naomi hasn't had a chance to upgrade at all, so we've only got her starting attack dice, a d6. We grab one of those, and we head over to the map to roll. We throw the dice and compare the result with the toughness of the monsters in our area. Here we're up against a lava and a Grillus. The lava only needing a 2+ to defeat. The Grillus needs a 4+. I'm thinking we use our rolled result of 5 to take him out. We remove the miniature, gain a point of courage for our supply, and continue on with our actions. We could go ahead and move back to the starting area. Remember, the move that we've already completed was from the nimble action and was a part of the team phase, so we've still got our full movement of 1 to 2 areas. But for the sake of showing things off, I'm going to leave it be. In fact, the only action I'm going to take is to place Naomi's gained volunteer down as a troop in ambush. Now, related, heroes can opt to help with their teammates' attack actions out of turn. Here, the helping hero has to be in the same area as the attacking hero, opting to spend 1 point of courage to make the action. This help action temporarily boosts 1 die in the attacking player's dice pool by 1 level. For example, a d6 becomes a d8, or a d10 becomes a d12. Unfortunately, though, the boost is lost after the attack is resolved. Now, multiple heroes can help with a single attack, even boosting 1 die multiple times, but it should be noted that a single die can never be boosted higher than a d12. We move into Terang's activation, and I think we're going to play things a little silly here. Instead of playing safe, moving into the 4th area, attacking and killing the lava, we're going to completely bypass that area and move across into Area 3. It's going to cost 2 points of movement, 1, 2, but we are hopefully going to see some pretty cool minis on the table. We'll go ahead and remove the invasion token, and we'll roll our despair dice. 1, 2, 3, 4 grey dice rolled. Guys and gals, that is 2 more Grillus and 2 more lava into the fray. Well, guys and gals, I think we'd probably better attack. We see Terang's also got a d6, so we'll grab that and we'll roll. The 4 is good, and it's probably the best result that we could hope for because it means we get to take out another Grillus. Again, the most powerful monster we have on the table. Finally, with our movement done and our attack done, all that's left is to set an ambush. And we have our 2 citizen militia. Let's go ahead and drop them down. Now, just like a player, a single location is restricted to just a single type of troop card and is able to hold anywhere from 0 to 4. Our aim over the course of the game is going to be to get back to the starting location, hire more citizen militia, and get them out to Area 3 so we can upgrade from our current 1d6 roll to 3d6. Nice. Alright, that's both of our heroes activated. We now move into the enemy phase, beginning with the Despair and Lord cycles. In this part of the phase, we're going to go ahead and move that Despair marker up the track, 1 point per player in the game. In our case, we've just got the 2, so we're going to go ahead and move up to 3. Now, moving to 3 is fine. Absolutely nothing happens. We'd return to the map and continue with the enemy phase. But every time the Despair marker makes a full revolution of the track and returns to or passes the number 1 marker, we go ahead and move the Lord track up 1 point. It's kind of like this is a minute's track and this is an hour's track. Every time we complete a new hour and the Lord track advances, we go ahead and add 1 more Despair die into the Despair pool. More dice here means more demons spawning and more chances of the powerful 2nd and 3rd circle demons appearing. It's not all bad news though, and every time the Lord track advances, players will also gain 4 points of courage to add to the pool. And when the Lord track returns to 1, well, we'll come back and check that out shortly. For now, let's return to the enemy phase. We've done our Despair and Lord cycles. We now complete any minions attack. In order of demons from lava all the way up to the highest level demons on the map, they are going to try and attack players present on their map tile. We begin with the lava, currently engaged with Naomi. We check its attack dice, 1d6. Just like our hero's attacks, we'll be rolling one of those. We roll the dice, and it scores a 6. Now, Naomi's only got 2 toughness, and this attack roll has definitely exceeded that value. So, Naomi would normally lose 1 point of health. But don't forget, she has a volunteer present in her area. If she would like, she can choose to have that damage sent to them instead of her. And with the volunteer being the cheapest of all of the troop cards, I think that's a pretty good idea. We move to Area 3, and we have the Grillis and 2 Lava attacking Terang. The Grillis attack first with 2d6. A 1 and a 2. Both rolls here fail to exceed Terang's toughness, so no wounds at all. We head back to the area, this time completing an attack with the Grillis, who's going to be rolling a single d10. The Grillis rolls an 8, exceeding Terang's toughness. That is 1 point of damage dealt. Now, Terang could choose to have that point of damage dealt to the citizen militia instead, but in the interest of building our defenses against the upcoming hordes, we're going to go ahead and take that damage ourselves. Terang moves from 6 to 5 health. Now, we've completed the second part of the enemy phase. We move on to the third. Here, minions in the start area are going to exit, causing damage to Doom, and the rest of them are going to move 1 area closer to the start location. A lava moves to the start, and this small group of demons moves to Area 4. Next, we are going to spawn new invasion tokens. Now, basically, this means every round an invasion token is going to move 1 step closer towards the starting location. Now, we could go ahead and move this one down and move the other one down, but that is just a poor use of any game player's time. If this area were empty, we could simply take a new invasion token and place it on there, but because we have a combination of either hero or troop present, we can go ahead and just spawn them in straight away. We grab our despair dice and roll. Here, we've only matched up 1 pair, and blue means the Fiend, a very powerful 2nd circle demon. Let's go ahead and place one of them in, and in addition, a single lava to accompany him. The final part of the enemy phase is the ambush, and it's here our placed troop cards get to shine. Players will go ahead and roll a pool of dice depending on the number of cards present in the troop's area. In this case, we have 2 citizen militia cards. We're going to be rolling a single d6. We roll the dice, and with a 6, we are in the best possible position we could be. But Guys and gals, you'll note the Fiend's toughness value is 6, and we would need to exceed this value in order to take him out. And even though we've made a perfect roll, the best we can hope to accomplish here is the death of a lowly lava. We remove the lava, and we would gain a single courage token placed in our shared pool. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the first round in a game of Planet Apocalypse. Now from here early on, we would probably like to get our heroes back to the start area so they can gain more troop cards, and hopefully we could find a way to upgrade our attack dice so we could deal with the Fiend. Otherwise, he's just going to reach the start location and exit, causing our Doom tracker to rise. We'll be moving, shooting, killing demons, trying to upgrade our heroes, all in preparation for dealing with the demons' growing and strengthening numbers. So what does the mid-game look like? And for me, that is when the Lord track has finally returned to level 1. At this point, we would have 3 additional dice in the despair pool. We would completely refresh the gift panel. We would move our Hell Lord 1 area closer, placing a Lord's Shadow token. And then we would go ahead and spawn one of our 4th circle demons at random. Odds and evens. Odds it is. The demon would be placed in the Lord's area and would advance forward every round with the invasion tokens. The unleash of this beast marks the first real challenge our heroes will undertake in their game. But at the end of the day, these battles work the same. Heroes will roll their attack dice, hoping to exceed the 4th circle demon's toughness values, slowly dealing damage and eventually sending it back to the depths of hell from whence it came. Demons, at the end of the day, are simple beasts to tame. But what about the Lord? You may have noticed that as the Lord moves, he drops a Lord Shadow token. This basically renders a map tile completely uninhabitable by humanity. If there are troops in a location when it is placed, the troops are destroyed, and if a hero is present, well, they're transported into Helltime, where the ultimate battle begins to take place. Now, heroes can, of course, assault areas containing a Lord's Shadow token, but all this means is they begin the battle on their own terms. When a battle with the Hell Lord begins, the activating player will place their hero on the Helltime board. They will then invite any other players in the game to join them in their assault. From here, players will need to place the Lord and resolve any invasion tokens present in his space. This usually means quite a lot of dice. Players will place the new spawns, and the battle begins. After Helltime has begun, we must trigger the Lord's Menace ability. In the case of Lord Baphomet, the Lord present in the base game box, the Menace causes an immediate attack against the heroes. An attack consisting of 6d12. Ouch. We roll the dice and assign any damages, but something we haven't mentioned before, as this is the first time we've had 2 heroes present at the scene of attack, players do have to determine which of the heroes is being targeted by the attack. In fact, this decision comes down solely to the captain. So, we roll, assign damage, and if there are still heroes alive, they get a chance to attack back. That is, they could attack back, or they could retreat. And if they choose to retreat, the hero can be moved to any non-shadowed area on the map. This, of course, includes the start location as well. Otherwise, heroes will attack, rolling their dice pools and assigning damage as normal. Now, Lord Baphomet is truly a tough contender. He has 9 hit points, and if a player can take them all the way out, the game is won. But his attack can be absolutely devastating. 6d12 is about the worst pool in the game, and on top of that, any hero injured by Baphomet receives a fire marker as well. Now, to mitigate that, players can choose to destroy Baphomet's wall. This unfortunately has the same toughness as Baphomet himself, but a lot less hit points. 3 damage inflicted against the wall is enough to defeat it, reducing the Lord's attack value down to only 6d8. But that is still enough to cause major damages. So it's simple, right? Heroes will combat the Hell Lord and its retinue over one or many battles, but if they ever defeat it, the heroes win. Of course, heroes may die in the process. In fact, they can die just battling a lone lava, but it's never the end. If a hero dies, you simply increase the doom track by 2, discard all their gifts and courage, and then during the next team phase, the player will recruit a new hero to join the fray. Now, Planet Apocalypse is certainly a very unforgiving game, and learning the ropes can be tricky. Thank goodness for divine intervention. Now, this divine intervention marker can be used in one of 3 ways. It can change the result of resolving an invasion token, allowing players to reset the rolled despair dice on any face they choose. Another use is to discard the current Legion card, drawing a new one, and finally it can be used to discard a 4th circle demon at the instant it appears on the map. The catch is, you will have to randomly draw a new one. They're certainly powerful effects, but none of them, of course, guarantee the win. Alright guys and gals, there we have it, Planet Apocalypse. Just a basic run through of the rules and all that goodness. Truly some tough as nails co-op action going on here. And to wrap it up here, we're going to head back off to the studio to have a chat. We'll talk about my thoughts on the game, and then we'll be done. So I guess, let's head to the studio. Okay, guys and gals, there we have it. A peek at Planet Apocalypse. And I say a peek because, well, that's probably about everything you need to know to play. In no way does it illustrate the full complexity of a game in progress. There are things like compounding pressures, shifting priorities, and a fully tiered and customizable upgrade system for every hero in the game. Yes, it's simple to learn, but because of these things, dun da da da, it's difficult to master. It's also one of those games where you can learn by playing rather than attend a teach prior to setting up. And yes, I do understand the irony of saying that just after I've taken you through a 30-minute teach. Sorry about that. I said in the intro, Planet Apocalypse is a dice-heavy, miniature-heavy tower defense style game. And it is. Looking at it, there is no doubt. Players are rolling dice all the time, moving hordes of demon miniatures up and down the map, their heroes engaging in bursts of furious combat. It's a simple concept, but it is oh so streamlined, and once you get the hang of the round, turns will move lightning quick. And I'll tell you what, it feels so good to play. Literally. You know that feeling when you grab a handful of dice and just let fly? Well, Peterson Games built a freaking game around it. And let's be real, we have just about every single freaking type of dice we could hope to have too, right? You know what it is? It's the fact that the dice in this game provide players with an actual, meaningful, physical connection to their game. You roll dice, you roll well. It wasn't probability that made it so, it was all you. It was your skill and your rolling technique. I've not had a game capture a feeling like this for a long time. I know it's silly. Basically, guys and gals, it's hella fun rolling dice and moving miniatures around the map. But yes, look a little deeper and you might be surprised at what you find. I'm still scratching the surface here, but I think Planet Apocalypse might be an engine builder. And yeah, kind of like a resource management game as well. Economic? It's probably a little far to say that, but go with me for a sec. See, positioning is everything in this game. There are certainly good places to be and bad places to be. What if a player spent all their good positioning to develop an engine? Let's say they gather troops, place them across the map, and in ambushing, they start paying out courage. The more you invest in your troops, the greater payout you're likely to receive. See what I'm getting at here? Ambushing troops begin mowing down the encroaching demons, providing what could become a constant stream of courage for the heroes to make use of. Invest more in these troops, and the quicker you're going to be able to gain access to gifts and recharges of luck, allowing you to activate your most powerful abilities. To me, guys and gals, these troops are power plants and automated defense systems all in one. And they're worth every single bit of rubbish positioning you can afford to spend. And the beauty of it, once these systems are established, players gain the freedom to tackle the game in whatever way they want. See, one of the problems that can arise in co-op games is that the game state dictates how it should be played, and there's often only a limited number of viable options to explore. Players get shoehorned into doing specific things at specific times, and as a result, the game becomes predictable. For me, an example of this is Pandemic. As much as I love it, there's a smart way to play and the wrong way to play. Some games get around this issue by offering players a broader range of options to deal with the game state at hand, in turn nurturing a more creative and engaging style of play. For me, I'm talking games like Spirit Island, Too Many Bones, Gloomhaven. If you've seen these in action, you definitely know what I'm talking about. Planet Apocalypse kinda does this. It has a broad upgrade system, except its game states are not nearly as complicated as those mentioned before. They're still challenging, only on a different scale. Here, instead of making players solve complicated issues with what could be predetermined solutions, it gives players a lot of simpler ones that can be tackled pretty much any way they want. Firstly, it removes any frustration of being caught out of position. Planet Apocalypse has a map consisting of 6 spaces, of which only about 2/3 are being played on at any point, and with 2 points of movement per activation, our heroes can be very flexible in how and when they respond to whatever the game throws at them. The trade-off here is that there is a difficulty to match, but that means the game is kind of always engaging. Secondly, it removes a lot of unknown. Demons are, after all, incredibly punctual and always spawn at the right time in the right place. And they're predictable, always moving towards their objectives. This provides certainty, allowing players to know where to be and what to do, and how best to maximize their position in the flow of the game. And it also tells them when they can relax and concentrate on the lighter side of things. Thirdly, there is the upgrade system, allowing players to develop in a way that suits them, but I should mention that these rarely provide any surprising results, with most upgrades focused on the core 4. More defense, more health, more dice, and more damage. Simple stuff, I know, but it basically means there are no real barriers preventing players from actually enjoying the game. They can be present in the theme instead. As such, progression in the game feels great, and at certain points you'll look back on your first evenly matched encounters with the lower ranks of hell and sneer at the minor inconvenience that they've become. You are a powerful hero after all. And it's precisely at this point of pure elated happiness that gameplay shifts and the difficulty ramps up. Either more tougher demons spawn, or one of the powerful 4th circle demons comes into play, and something wicked this way comes. It's here that Planet Apocalypse demonstrates its tried and true gameplay flow. Fight, upgrade, find a new challenge. Fight, upgrade, and go again. And I've got to say, it's an exciting flow to be a part of, and I've never really found myself unfairly overwhelmed by what the game throws at me. That is, of course, until the inevitability of the final battles. Defending against the Lord of Hell, it's never supposed to be an evenly matched fight, right? But let's come back to that later. Let's talk about the dice, because guys and gals, there are so many dice to be rolled here. But you know what comes with dice? Luck. Oh no, not luck, guys and gals. I think you know this. I'm a bit of a fan of luck, and I'm finding more and more that their measurable unknown keeps pulling me back into games like these. I know it's a detrimental factor for some, but hear me out. The way Planet Apocalypse is put together, you're never really relying on lucky rolls to progress the game. The low-grade dice, the D4s and D6s, are perfect for taking out the lava and grilluses respectively. But fiends, you literally have to upgrade. D8, you might make it, but you kind of have that uncertainty going in, and really only the foolhardy will go in without at least a D10 on hand. What about those cacodemons? You're going to need a fistful of dice to deal with them, D6s at least, and as long as you're not expecting a miracle and you remain aware of the dice you have, you're going to come out of battles pretty okay. I'm no expert on probability, but from what I can tell, the game is not designed at all to frustrate you because of a bad roll. All in all, this is a strategy game, and because of that, strategy will win out over luck every single time here. Formulate a plan, work as a team, and you're going to make it to the end game. But I'm not promising you're going to make it any further. Guys and gals, endgame is hard as hell. I count this as the first time you go toe-to-toe with a lord, and I've got to say that this is where your build and your upgrade path and your gifts really matter most. And if you've not built well, you're not going to have much of a shot finishing the game with a victory. But I think I've said about enough there. You should really play the game to experience this shift in difficulty. Look, Planet Apocalypse is one of the few games where I count a defeat to be a game well played, so long as you have a few epic moments shared with the people at your table. So guys and gals, if you've made it this far and you've remained interested, I feel like you're going to love the game. It's fast, furious, and far deeper than its simple mechanics would lead you to believe. And if you see an opportunity to get a play in somewhere, I highly recommend it. Long term though, I'm not sure the base game is going to offer the unending replayability that you would like out of a price tag like this. It probably depends on your player count, but with only 6 heroes in the base game, you'll get to know them pretty well pretty quickly. 2 fourth circle demons, 1 lord, what is essentially one map with 2 difficulty levels. It's not going to take you long till you've seen everything the game has to throw at you. But if you're willing to invest in even a single big box expansion, you're going to get 2 more heroes, 3 more fourth circle demons, 2 more lords, and 2 new maps. And that's more than reasonable on the replayability front. You get all 4, you're going to have replayability up the wazoo, but I feel like you're going to miss out on familiarizing yourself with the scenarios. It's not a bad problem to have though. Shelf space, on the other hand, I can't say the same for that. Look, I don't regret at all going all in here. Heaps of content, insane production. Planet Apocalypse is certainly a game I see lasting the years. And you know what? Even now, I see it replacing a bunch of games in the collection. Scary stuff. But I tell you what, guys and gals, that is it. I'm going to stop there. If you have any questions, comments, or any personal insights with the game, I want you to jot them down in the comments below. Say hi, like the video, subscribe, because I tell you what, this is going to be an absolutely epic year for games, and I kind of want you all there with me as I go through it. I've had an absolute blast putting this video together, and I'm feeling totally renewed on the filming side of things as well, so expect plenty more to come. But besides that, we are done. So, as always, guys and gals, my name's Michael, this is Bits Aboard. I will catch you next time.